Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. We're here for some writing sprints, and I gotta say, happy to have Leah Lindeman from Pen to Paper, an author on the writing sprints, going to join us. Hey Leah.
Hey, Noah, thank you so much for having me on. This is
M-
really cool. Love
my
to do this
pleasure.
with you.
My pleasure. Our first collab, just to get together for some writing sprints. That's really cool.
Hmm.
A lot of people might not be familiar with your channel, so I just wanted to say, I see you as kind of like a mama bear, right? You
Aw,
got a lot of you got a
thanks.
lot of kids and this kind of thing, and big on the family. But even your content is like, the mama bear kind of content. You're here to give advice and help. You want to help people along and help people not to be stuck. So
Hmm.
that's the kind you find a lot of content like that on your channel, just ideas in that kind of way, and even on your Instagram posts, right? Is that intentional?
Yeah, definitely. I got into personal development more like 2.5 years ago, kind of a little bit before pandemic, and it's just really been going full force. So what I'm intentionally trying to do with my channel and my Instagram is bringing the craft of writing with personal development because I think mindset is so key to, well, I mean, not only just writing, but everyday life.
Cool. And these kind of
Hmm.
things like sprints or the kind of you do journaling morning, each morning daily on your Instagram, these kind of
Yeah.
things are not really drivers of viewers necessarily, but the ones that take part in it do gain value from it just by doing it like that. So there's a give and take in that kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm,
hope so.
I'm
It's just,
very into that kind of, you know. There's
yeah.
a lot of driving content in a certain direction where there's very little value to it. It's just entertainment basically. But there's a
Hmm.
lot of ways that we can gear our content that actually provides value to the community. Like
Yeah.
this, people want to write. NaNoWriMo is happening. People want to write, and
Hmm.
we're providing just a space for that. They can use this video whenever they want, take an hour and write and that kind of thing. And I think that's more valuable than having a video where, you know, I might get even a couple hundred views, 1,000 views, something like that. It's like it might be cool, but when it comes down to it, uh, helping somebody to do something that they want to do inside of it is
Yeah.
more.
No, it's for sure. It's all about the service that you give, whether you have one person or 100 people, or even more than that, right?
Right.
So every person is deserving of great service and love from the content creator. And I mean, yeah, it's cool to have the numbers, but if you're not, let's say this, if you don't handle the small things well, then how can you expect to handle the big things well?
True.
And that's
True.
kind
Yeah.
of where you just got to start sometimes.
Yep. So you write. You've written um, novels before. You have a series. Is that right? It
Yeah,
seems to
I've
me
got
from what I hear some kind of like a mythological basis, like a fantastic fantasy, but mythology as well, or something like that, right?
Not quite. There is a series that I have in mind in the far distant future. Once I'm done this series, this is definitely more historical fiction.
Nice.
But each book has a different bent toward a certain genre. So for my first one, it was very drama heavy. My second one is more of a murder mystery, and it's a little darker, a little more gruesome. And the one that I'm working on right now is more literary fiction.
Nice.
So it's just kind of, I go where the story dictates to be led.
I like that kind of thing, especially to use a genre as a kind of parameter for yourself in your writing or something to kind of,
Hmm.
give yourself something that you have to deal with so that you have to flex or you have to, you know, figure it out or something. I like that. When I think of certain writers that do things like that, one of the number one is Gaddis, William Gaddis, because he said he would, especially in the book Carpenter's Gothic. I haven't read that one yet, but there's a character that never is on the page. He's never shows up, but he's a main character in the story. And he gave himself that, that he wasn't gonna have the character be on the page to wrestle with, in his writing. So
I
definitely,
love that.
yeah, that might, you benefit from that kind of thing, or
Yeah.
pushing yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's on my to read list now. Carpenter's Gothic. That's what you said.
He's hilarious. Definitely very, very smart writer. Very biting satire. That's what it is.
Ooh,
Satire.
that's good.
His stuff. He was. Oh, okay. No worries about that. Let's stay on what we're doing. So, I'm finishing a rewrite on a short story for through this month, however long it takes me, whatever. And that's what I'm just working on my writing sprints. And what are you working on?
Well, I'm working on the fifth book. That's what I'm working on. That's my
Hi.
that's my girl here. Yeah, I'm at 64,000 words.
Cool.
So I've got about 6 more thousand, and definitely, so I basically need 6 more days to finish.
Nice.
Yeah, because I do about 1,000 words a day. And
Nice.
even if I didn't get to it during the day, I'll just sit down at night and bust those words out, even if I'm tired, because this is what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Consistently every day writing what we love, the story.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. How far are we into it? Like 6 minutes, 45 seconds. All good. And I was just
Hmm.
talking. We were talking right before that I had done this show last night. I went and to see Paramore last night,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and so I'm just not really feeling it. Not in the mode. So I figured we'll talk
Mhm.
about writing a little bit and get me more into the mode. I'll read what I wrote before I start writing on it. I usually do that, especially with the short story here. Read back a bit
I
before I start.
always do that, like to get myself back into it.
Yeah,
And then once I do, you kind of get re-excited for it.
right. Cool.
Yeah.
And I was thinking with feeling like this, Leah's the perfect one to have on. Like, she's gonna have some tips for me. Like, what if
Sure.
you're not feeling it, but you want to get those words down, especially for something like if you commit yourself to NaNoWriMo or something where you want to hold yourself accountable for writing each day, and you don't feel it. What do you do?
You just do it. There's no like beating around the bush, making yourself think. I mean, you can do a few things. I mean, I was actually going to ask you, does music help you get into the mood of writing, or certain type of music? Because
I
some
will
some
put
writers that works really well.
I'll put on instrumental.
Okay.
Instrumental music.
Yes.
I like classical. I'll listen to some baroque music. I'll listen to some classical music. I'll listen to some hip hop, some
Yeah.
beats, some lo-fi stuff.
Okay.
I'll listen to some instrumental like polyphia, some instrumental like
Mhm.
metal or melodic stuff. But I always have it turned down. It's always in the background. It
Mhm.
never
Same
can,
here.
kind of get in my head. I'm not thinking on it at all.
Yeah.
And it's not really, it doesn't seem to be effective for me in any kind of way. It's just the same as if it was silence for me.
Yeah. So there, I mean, there's all the little, tips and tricks you could write in a different spot that might just kind of help the creative juices flowing. You could listen to music. You could, what I always do is read my stuff. We talked
Nice.
about reading our stuff before getting into it, so that always kind of helps. But at the end of the day, and I actually put out a video about this yesterday, and one of the points that I made to like make time for writing is when you have the time to write, time is very precious, right? This is like time we so easily distract ourselves or give our time away so freely. So
Oh
when
yeah.
we block out the time to write, it's work time. It's if you love this. Um, I guess people always think that writing is supposed to be easy because it's passion or it's you're
Right.
inspired all the time, but it just isn't all the time.
Anybody
So
who's
when
done
that
it
happens,
knows that that kind of thing ebbs and flows. You
yeah, it
can't
really does.
force inspiration
Yeah,
or
yeah,
enthusiasm for
exactly.
that matter.
Yeah.
You can't lie to
So
yourself. You can be outwardly
no,
enthusiastic when you don't really feel it, but inside, you're not really, in the mode or really feeling it, maybe, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Since you're doing a rewrite, what you might want to do for anyone who's rewriting anything, maybe pick your favorite scene that you remember really enjoy writing
Yeah,
and then work on that because you know it's your favorite. You already have some emotional attachment to it. If you're writing something new, like a new script, a manuscript, then instead of just going from where you left off, you could write a scene that you've been envisioning for a while. Like you know you're going to get to it, but if
right.
you just need to bridge the gap, you know what? Just leave your stuff behind and just jump on that scene that you're really excited to write, and then just go for it. And that will kind of also help with the excitement factor.
I like
Um,
that. Thank you.
yeah.
It's very. I think it's definitely valuable advice. These kind of things, I find myself kind of doing. I think the advice, what you said, to read, to get into
Hmm.
it is a big thing. The best writers are very strong readers.
Yes.
Period.
Even Stephen King has a whole quote about it. Something about if you don't make time to read, what is it now? I just saw it recently. If you don't make time to read, then how are you going to make time to write, or how are you going to have the elements, the proper writing elements to write about? Something to that nature. But he even said that you have to be a heavy reader to be
Yes.
a really good writer.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I love Stephen King's on writing. What a great book on writing, and
Yeah.
it's in every conversation about writing. Really, what a
Mhm.
landmark kind of thing. All right, so
I
let's
loved
jump
it.
into a sprint. I'm gonna get into the mode. Maybe we'll share some a little later or something like that if we want, or we'll
Sure.
talk a little bit just after the sprint. Okay, let's go to 7:30.
Sounds great. So for all of you who are watching, I'm going to hop out really quick, stick my baby to bed, and then I'm going to hop back in. So I promise I'm not ditching. I'll be right back.
We're in. Yeah, the NaNoWriMo squad will come for you.
Oh man. And then I'm going to have to pay my dues, whatever that means. It's like half
Right.
a month. You got to hammer out 2,000 words instead of 1,000 words in a day.
Uh, Put a monitor on your computer.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, have fun. Let's do it,
All
y'all.
right. I'll be right back. I can't hear you, Noah. I think you're muted. Oh, sorry. Were you talking to someone at your house? I was like, wait, it's around 7:30.
It is all good. Yes.
Okay.
My Zelda came in and wanted to say hey to me and show me
Oh,
her tank top. You know?
oh, cute.
So she's right there. But yeah, we're right there at it. I was just kind of at a point anyways. So, how was it?
Well, it's good. I
I'm
got.
I'm
Oh,
totally
I'm surprised.
I'm totally I have no structure. I just sit and write and just go at it, and it's
Yeah,
all my own thing. So I don't really get into, I mean, like writing advice. I mean, I'll read books on writing and stuff like that. And I mean, I'll listen to writing advice, sure. But when I'm doing it, it's just like, I'm just led by my drive. That's it.
yeah. No, I think that's the best way to do it. The story leads you, the drive leads you, knowing that you want to put something out to share with others leads you.
Yes. There's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
and
yeah. I'm surprised. I got 200 words in despite the short amount of time
nice.
that I have.
That's very good. I don't
Yeah,
I don't write I don't write fast, especially on like the kind of rewrite that I'm doing here. It's very
yeah. No,
hot,
I
hot,
find
hot.
rewrites take time, and I'm like, maybe if there's a large chunk that you need to rewrite,
Right.
then you can kind of get into it. But I find rewriting is a lot of more analyzing what needs to be fixed, and yeah.
Sure. I
So
mean,
how did yours go?
I don't even know as far as word count. I got 1,035 in this short
That's
story here.
good. Okay.
And last time I looked, which was last night. So, I mean, I probably didn't write much after this. It was like 960. So I might have done like 70 words or something.
Hey, but that's it. Sometimes that's what you add, as long as it's adding to the story, not taking away, right?
Right. And I did just start, I got to a point, I mean, I know this whole story. I've written this
Hmm.
story and rewrote it a couple of times. So I'm really, really intimate with these characters. I know what they're going through. I know what's going to happen over this hour or whatever. So I'm
Hmm.
just kind of going at it. And I got to a point last night. Well, I mean, I was already there, but I was still like kind of working on it where it was like a first part of the story got finished. So I
Mm.
was like, okay, I'm still not, 100%, but I'm there right at the end. So what I did just now is I looked at that last paragraph, but then I started the next part. So I was
Yes.
able to do the kind of thing that you're saying, where you start a new part. So you just kind of pour out setting, scene, whatever, and let it, and then see where you are. You might have a little bit of time where you can really just pour out a bunch of words and
Hmm.
then see what you got, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes what you get in the moment isn't any good. Um, with rewrites tends to be a little bit different. Like
Right.
you've thought about it more. You kind of have more of the lyricism and the prose for the
Right.
work kind of more ingrained in your mind. But yeah, when it's first draft, like sometimes it's just terrible. But whatever, at least it's out.
We
Because
got a
then that's when you can get to the rewrite and really polish it and make it come together the way it's supposed to
It's
come
like my
together.
first
So,
time rewriting. I have like nothing to say about it really.
I'm sure. Well,
It
hey,
is what
you
it is.
are doing the process. You are doing momentum, so it's good.
So we got another author in the chat.
There we go.
Margaret Pernard is in the house.
Thank
If you don't
you.
have time to read, you don't have the time or the tools to write. Simple as that.
Mm,
And there's your quote from earlier.
there's the quote. Thank you so much.
Nice. Because I'm sideways. I'm in profile when I'm writing, and you were straight.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Right? I still don't know. Usually if I do my lives, I'm like right here, and I got the desk here. But for
Yeah,
writing, it's kind of like I just turn to right, and I'm like right here. I don't know about using the MacBook
yeah.
cam.
Well, I only have one screen, right? So that's kind of how it works for me. I was gonna set it up at my husband's computer because he's got two screens side by side. So I was like, oh, I'll go on with that, and then write on my Mac. but then I just didn't have it up in time. And I only have like earbuds, Bluetooth, and then I'd have to set that all up. And I couldn't find my wired ones. So I was like, whatever.
Right. You
It's
gotta
just going to be this way.
make it work. I like
Yeah,
your
that's it.
style. I
Noah led.
appreciate that, Margaret. I'm definitely led by my writing angels. I feel like I just let it. It's waiting to be told. I'm merely like the secretary, right?
That's how I love to see it. Yes.
Rewrites require as much focus as conducting a symphony. Not that I've conducted a symphony.
Oh no, you've never done that, Margaret. Of
A
course, you
very
have.
talented, a very talented woman, that Margaret. Thank you for
Yes,
coming
he
by.
is.
And everybody
Yeah, thank
comes by and
you.
supports and here to share. So
Hmm.
is there anywhere you want to go with this? Would you like to share something? I'd love to hear some of your writing if you want to just share a bit, just something you're happy with.
Yeah, sure. As I said, I didn't write too much now. Let me see if there's a few sentences. It was so funny. I kind of got stuck at one point. I was trying to. I find I tend to slow down quite a bit more when I'm talking about like setting, like describing the setting and kind of the emotion of the setting. So I kind of got stuck there. But here, you could tell me if this kind of brings out the character. Well, I'll just tell you the quick setting. My character, she's just had a baby, and the man that she's with, who's the biological father, doesn't seem to be quite fitting into his role very naturally as a father. And I'll just read a little bit of the dialogue that I wrote, and then you can tell me if that kind of comes across properly or not. So, as I said, this is all fresh writing. Most of the time, it's garbage. So I'll just go with it.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see here. So as soon as they reached home, Trent held his arm out to cradle Melody. Melody is the baby. At least he held her, at least he held her a little closer than he had last time. After a minute, he opened the car door and stepped out with her. Eleanor, who's the mother, asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm taking her into the nanny so we can go out and celebrate." "I don't want to go without her." "Well, she can't come." "Then I don't want to go." "Come on, we won't have much time together once we settle in with her. I've already taken the trouble of making reservations. Do you know how hard it is to get one? Won't you let me treat you after you've done such a magnificent job of bringing her into the world?" Watching Melody go through the threshold of the front door was almost more than she could bear at the moment, and yet he was trying to show her love, wasn't he? She forced herself to turn her body away and smile as she looked into his eyes. "Let's go." So
Nice.
that's what I've got.
Nice.
So, yeah, what do you
I
think?
like
Does
it.
the dialogue show that he's not really into it?
Well, yeah, but I think that the dialogue shows that it could go either way. I think the
Okay,
dialogue does
good. That's
show.
kind of what I want it to be. Yes.
I think that it's not as straight as dark of a line on that, because he is trying to do something for her, maybe,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
If it's unless it's all selfish motive. He's got friends that he's meeting there, and it's not about her at all.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen, I guess, whatever. But
Yeah.
if if it's really a celebratory thing, some guys just really don't get it. Especially a first time father don't get, all the feelings that are associated with it and things like this.
Hmm.
You know, it's almost an abuse to not have the baby with the mother
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
marriage.
Exactly.
That's why they give you what's it give you oxycontin, right?
Yeah.
In the in labor,
Yeah.
to feel
That,
way.
that's it.
It's a very cool. Definitely to be written about by a mother, right?
Yes. Yeah. Good. No, that's what I'm hoping for. I don't want him to be too straightforward, but definitely want to see the struggle in that character. So
Cool, very cool.
yeah.
Well,
What
Emily,
about you? Do you want to
Emily
share a
was
little?
sure, sure, sure.
Okay. Sorry, Emily was
Emily
saying.
was Emily was going and getting one of my daughters. I have three.
Aw.
So going and getting her from work, and she just
Yeah.
got home. So I was able to
Oh, nice.
close the door so the cats don't um, get in here and make me keep, moving or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've shared my story, a bit of the opening of this story, and I really am happy with it. And I
Oh,
don't
yes.
want to
Was it
share.
the part that you shared on Friday?
Um,
Last Friday on your
yeah, well,
live?
yeah, not last Friday, but like the
Okay.
Friday before with Ryan, I did share, but I'm further along than that now, of
Yeah.
course. But it is a short story, like a really short, maybe a 10 pager. So
Mhm.
it's something
Okay.
where I'm not wanting to necessarily give too much more at all. But
Yeah.
I'll give you I have a video on my channel where I just gave like a 4 minutes and just like read the first part opening of it. So
That's nice.
what I'll do is finish up that that part. Okay.
Mhm.
So in my video where I was writing to, so his friend is trying to lighten the mood and try to make him smile by telling this story of something that happened at school, and he's not receptive to it at all. His friend
Okay.
Kyle, the main guy, the main boy, is not receptive to it at all. Just doesn't really acknowledge it, and then he has his own things going on. So he's in his own head and walking away, and he goes, "Got ratted out, right?" Because the kids at school got told on, right?
Hmm.
So Ty says, "Ain't that the truth?" Ty sighs relief and disappointment, unhurriedly standing. It was Kyle doing circles now, a meandering path to the fence opening. Strike one for me, I guess, and Ty chuckles because he knows he can never strike out. Observing his confines or feeling trapped, since he thought of it, it's probably not the case. Halfway across the yard, he sees Kyle approach the fence without slowing, grab the loose plank and pull up and twist, rip cracking free all three daily wiggled nails out, and yet still one holds. Grunting, Kyle turns the plank back, and when the nail gives, heavy wood slips and slides his grip. The horror of the deep, gnarly splinter and the falling, crushing tree embodied as he rips his hands ferociously free, leaping back. Looks like it hurt like hell. Damn, Kyle, you cool? Hands aflame, sight submerged. The plank now rides a verdant tide. Low moans and slow spins cycle as Kyle claws shards from inner knuckles becoming wet, fire dripping. Skin web shredded by terrible picks and needles. He could howl but will not, and stops once he can ball a fist. The opening seems smoky, flowing across lenses swimming as fury of mind scorches outward. The air perfumed metallic. Under a permeating violent filter, light stepping and gaining speed, he foot taps the former door and leaps, uncountable executions informing adrenaline amped vessels. A glide perfected, buoyant and slicing, he leaves his home behind. Two shook steps, a drag and a flick. Ty watches Kyle spring back at the fence, awash in the too clear summer twilight. Gotta be pissed. Rage in expression, tracking movements back, a dark path manic to depression. He heard me before? I could have helped him heaving lumber. Respect and some wonder at the fleet footed spring and the fine dark wisps flowing from tucked arms, themselves in shadow. Kai, a narrow pass, an unwritten number, one moment here, next there. So
Wow.
that's a thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like I'm there with your
Nice.
characters. That's
Nice.
great.
It's taking a while to get through the plot, but that's just
Hmm.
what it is. The plot is not very big. It's not a lot of time. And so it's really like I'm like you see, I'm able to get like really intimate with the character's experience. Like
Yeah.
it's right up against their mind, when they're viewing
Mhm.
something and when they're experiencing something. And this opening is intense. I think, I didn't. but it's not as intense as like what I'm what where we're going. You know what I mean? So
What
it's kind of
what you're about to do.
it's kind of a foreshadowing, you know what I mean, in this
Yes.
kind of way, or something, or like a setup because you wanna I mean, I don't know, kind of a thing of giving an appetizer
Mhm.
for the
Yep, I
or,
definitely see that.
you know, or maybe a taste of what's to come, so you know if you like it or not or something, I don't know. You know if you want more or not, you know?
Yeah. No, I see that. And actually, I think very good writing kind of sets up that foreshadowing of what's to come. Like just enough to whet your appetite, but not too much that you're bored.
Right, right, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Margaret. Elucidation through quick dialogue, loved it. You know, I'm not thinking about doing a lot of dialogue here, really. You know, Kyle's not in the mood to talk. He's really not in the mood to talk or listen to much. Um, Ty is just his friend who's there, you know? And so it's not a dialogue heavy thing, but there has to be you know, interaction between these two. Ty is just kind of there. So I'm allowing it to just uh be what it's going to be, but I want to strip it. You know, I want to strip it as much as possible. I don't want it to take up too much space. So I really appreciate that.
Well, it just shows the familiarity between the characters too, right? Because when you're really good friends, you're not constantly talking to each other. Some of the times, you're there, being
That's right.
present in the moment
That's
together.
right.
Oh, kitty cat!
This is Mustache.
Oh, so cute.
Mustache is the only one that I think that I've had in my because Mustache hangs out with me in the room quite a bit,
Aw,
and he's cool. He likes
beautiful
Drake.
eyes.
He likes watching Draca have a little bearded dragon in here,
Okay.
and Mustache gets on top of one of the bookshelves over there and just stares him down all day. Stares Drake.
Wow.
All right, there you go. Sweet. All right,
Cat crash moment.
we've thank y'all for letting me share and you know the encouragement and all
Yeah.
that. We want to do another maybe since
Let's do another sprint. Yeah.
yeah we're at 47 minutes. We're at 7:47. So let's go to like maybe 7:15.
Sounds good. You mean
Yeah,
8:15?
or 8:15. Yeah, let me. I
Yes,
appreciate
another
this.
solid half hour. That's
I
good.
need you here, Leah. You see, I need it. It would totally fall apart if it wasn't for you.
Oh, sweet.
Boom. Okay,
All right.
we'll go till 8:15. See you on the next on the other side, y'all.
On the other side.
Sweet. All right. So we went a little bit, a couple minutes over.
That's
I get into it, I'm gonna write the rest of the night,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
No,
yeah.
I'm happy. I almost like 20 words from my 1,000 words for today, so I'm
Very
happy.
cool. Very cool. Hey SS. Happy Wednesday.
Hello.
Some more some more of the crew coming by, hanging out. Thank you very much, y'all.
Wonderful.
Hopefully y'all are using it to be, do whatever you want to do. We're
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the writing. We're all about the writing and to encourage that in the community. But if you want to hang out on my channel, you can do whatever you like, that's for sure.
Mhm. It's a great way to keep yourself accountable to the work for sure.
Right. There you go. That's right. Hey PG, I ain't finna read that's in the house too. Hey, very cool, brother.
Hello.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
So this was fun. Thank you very much, Leah, for coming and crushing like an hour and 20 with me.
Yeah, no, it flew by so quickly. I'm so happy that I was able to do this, and my kids behaved themselves pretty well.
Oh yeah. They're
So
they're great
yeah.
for sure. So I have no kind of structure, no kind of, I don't hold myself accountable. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, I just do. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants with this thing.
Okay, so you're like a panther then
Oh yeah.
when it comes
And
to
I
your
mean,
writing. Okay, awesome. I am that too.
and I just have fun with it, when it comes down to it. I feel like, if I don't, there was days that I didn't write in this week.
Oh
I've been
yeah, me
writing
too.
every day. I've been writing every day for sure. But there was days this week because I did 2 concerts this week. It was ridiculous.
Wow. Okay, so
Um,
Paramore and who was the other one?
Young Gravy. Do you know who? I'm sure you. I mean, it's
Maybe if I
insanity.
heard the music, but I don't know them by name.
I doubt it. It's insanity. It's like a joke. It's a complete joke.
Wow.
It was hilarious. I mean, and it was mad fun. It was ridiculous. But I mean, I'm not that. That's not my lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
Two,
But hey, it's fun
two
to do fun
concerts.
things sometimes.
It was mad fun. I don't want to downplay it, but so because of that, I didn't read or write one day or something, and it was just fine. I didn't kick myself
Yeah.
or anything like this. I just, I didn't feel like it. I didn't have time, so I just didn't do it. And then when I did, I picked it up and just got to it. I didn't have any kind of feeling like that. So, and I mean, I can see. I just there's a part of me that when I see people, when people make a lot of commitment to themselves, I want to just say,
Mhm.
hey, go easy on yourself, okay? It's okay. Don't,
Yeah,
one thing. How about give yourself one goal that you actually know you're gonna do? Like
that's right.
that you will do, because
Something
then
that's yeah, that you
that
know you can handle.
yeah, like do
Yeah.
that. Don't I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this, and there's no way you can do all three of those by the end of the week or something.
Yeah,
Big
exactly.
projects or something like, so this kind of thing, I just kind of am going with it, but bigger projects, of course, require a little more structure, I would think, and things like that. So we'll see what my tune is like when I'm doing my novel, right? When I'm rewriting the novel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say it's a good mix of both. Like my book that I'm writing right now, I this meant to come out like a year ago, and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't have structure, and sure, there were phases during these past year and a half, 2 years where I was writing every day, and then I just went through phases where I was out of it. Um, I lead a very, very busy life, not even my kids, but just other things too.
Right.
And I went through a lot of personal. Well, 2 years ago, I had my sixth, so that kind of like threw a kink in just schedule. And then the and beginning of this year, I went through a lot of personal things. Um, so yeah, I say definitely give yourself a deadline that you are pretty sure you can handle. But if you don't meet it, at the end of the day, um, you just set another deadline and you roll out the grace toward yourself,
Right.
and you just enjoy the ride, whatever. If it takes a year, if it takes 3 years, that's why
Right,
I've never taken myself too seriously in terms of like I need to get a book out every year. That
right,
just doesn't work with my lifestyle.
right.
So yeah,
And everything changes. We're not going to be, I'm not
yeah,
too critical. I'm not too critical of myself like that. I'm never like real hard nosed with myself. I just kind of,
yeah,
let it be. So, yeah, like I had said before, I wrote, the novel before I even started the BookTube channel, and I put it down and did not look at it for like a year.
yeah.
And then I did some rewriting. I had some, some people had read it, gave me notes, things like that. And I did some writing on it, but then I had a kind of epiphany. And
Yeah.
I need to and just a whole nother layer of it, of what's
Okay.
going on and how the story's going to be told. So that's more of the rewrite, that the big rewrite that I know I need to do on it is just really adding depth and adding this other, more facets to the storytelling, things like that.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to do it. And um I'm excited about it, but having that kind of thing, I felt like I had to, and I did, I just thought about it for a long, long time
Mm.
and didn't get into the mode of writing on it and rewriting and stuff, put it back down. And then so now gonna do these little ideas that I have, a couple of short story ideas, get me
Yeah.
into get me into the mode before I try to bite off a big. I have I think I have 36,000 words is what it is.
Okay. So that's like a good size novella then. Yeah, actually no, actually I'm thinking that would be a novelette
It's
technically.
really it's really, you know, out m it's really like I feel like it's more of an outline. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, there you
I
go.
gotta
And
fill
yeah,
in everything, like everything
yeah.
needs more substance to it at this point.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, even the work I'm writing on right now, it's bare bones. I
Yeah,
know I'm going to take out things. I'm probably going to be adding a whole lot more into it,
yeah,
even in terms of like the history behind it. So it's
cool,
yeah, that's fun. But
cool.
yeah, this I knew that like I can finish this year. It's a very reasonable deadline, and I'm hitting like most every day I'm writing. So it's
Cool.
encouraging to me to do this. But one thing I actually just decided yesterday I was going to do this, but I'm really trying to serve people in their writing through the YouTube channel. So via
Nice.
video, there's an audience for that. I've actually turned that into a podcast now. So for any audio listeners, it's now podcasts on Apple, Amazon, and Spotify. But now, like I was thinking, another way to serve people is through books of just readers, right, who like the
Right.
written words. So yeah, I'm gonna actually be putting out a book probably the second week of January. It's gonna be a very short, punchy book on confidence in writing and how
Cool.
to get that. So I just literally decided yesterday that okay, this
Cool.
is this is when I'm doing it. December, first the beginning of December, I'm writing it and it's
Nice.
out.
Good.
So
Very cool. Well,
yeah.
I'm all about that action. Like I said when we started this tonight, I see uh your channel as a resource for that kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
advice, it's fostering writers or creativity or just kind of getting you in getting you in the mode for it, or how to address blocks or internal things that go on with the writing, just wanting to write but not being able to focus or get the words out there, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to it, and keep it up. I'll put a link in the description box if you just give me something to go on for that. I don't listen to any podcasts or anything myself. I've never
No,
been able to get into that kind of medium, but I will link it in the description box for anybody that's down for it. And
yeah, thank
everybody
you.
here is already down for some YouTube content, right? So we'll be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as I said, right, there's an
Okay.
audience for everything:
Yeah,
audio, video,
yeah,
and books.
that's
So
right.
a great way to like cover all your bases.
Very
And
cool.
I'm just somehow managed to structure that into my day. So
Right.
yeah.
Very cool. Follow me on Instagram if you want some daily journaling. It's early in the morning, but that's just my
7
time
Eastern,
as well.
yeah.
Right? So we're gonna do it, and we'll do some more sprints. See y'all next Wednesday for the writing sprints. That'll probably be might be the last one, right?
Oh, wow.
Next
Okay.
Wednesday, the last one in October in November, because I'm just
I
doing the sprints for NaNoWriMo.
I think there's another Wednesday after that if you're wanting to go all the way to the end of the month.
I
But
am. I am.
yeah.
We're
So
going. We're going
I
all the
think
way.
there's
I'm
two
not
more
gonna.
Wednesdays.
Okay. Yeah. The 30th is a Wednesday.
There you go. So you have
Cool.
to get the last day in.
Cool. Okay. So the last day of November is going to be writing sprints. That's cool.
There you
You're not,
go.
you haven't hit your goal yet. Everyone who reads it must converse might be the channel to get you where you want to be.
Yeah,
Not me, but just the space for writing.
for
So we'll
sure.
be here.
For
Thank
sure. Well,
you.
thank you so much for having me on. It was nice to be with you all. Hope you got some good writing in today. And if it wasn't writing, whatever you were working on.
Heck yeah. Catch you on the next one, but
Yeah.
maybe Friday for the live. Bye bye.
Yeah.